बेटा आपको मेरी पीपीटी नजर आ रही है?
नो मैम।
No, ma'am.
नो।
No, ma'am. No.
बच्चे, आर यू एबल टू हियर माय स्क्रीन, हियर माय वॉइस? आवाज
Yes,
आ
ma'am.
रही है? चलिए बेटा।
Yes.
बेटा ऐसे है कि मैं आपके साथ सारा जो टॉपिक है ना वो एक्सप्लेन कर देती हूँ, ठीक है? फिर मैं पीपीटी शेयर कर दूंगी, आप इसको ना लेटर ऑन एक बार यू कैन गो थ्रू दैट, राइट?
Okay,
आई एम
ma'am.
नॉट एबल टू आई एम नॉट एबल टू शेयर द पीपीटी ड्यू टू सम टेक्निकल रीजन, ठीक है? मैं क्लियर आपको थोड़ा सा क्लियर कर देती हूँ इसको, ठीक? आप उसको बाद में देख लीजिएगा, मैं ग्रुप में शेयर कर दूंगी।
मैम आप अभी ग्रुप में शेयर कर दो सो दैट हम साथ साथ में देख के इजीली अंडरस्टैंड कर पाए।
अच्छा, चलिए ठीक है, इट्स ओके बेटा, ओके। यू कैन ओपन एट योर एंड एंड आई विल बी स्टार्ट एक्सप्लेनिंग, राइट? आई एम शेयरिंग, जस्ट वेट। I have shared, beta. You can open the slides at your end and I'll be start explaining, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you
Yes, ma'am.
received? Okay, chaliye, it's
Yes,
fine.
ma'am.
So let's talk about business environment this time. Under this section, we have what the points which we are going to cover today is salient features of economic system, and under this we are going to see capitalist system, market economy, socialist system, and the mixed economy, and the basic features of Indian economy. We'll be going through all these points. So let's see that after independence, what happened? The India and its leaders, they set out in the pursuit of nation building. Of course, it was the priority for them, and the problems of poverty, illiteracy, ill health, and inequity that were targeted upon. Yes, because at that time we were just relieved from the clutches of the Britishers, and all these, problems, they were on the rise in our society at that particular time. The system of planned development was adhered to with the objectives of providing better standards. Now, the first priority was to give the better standards of living to all the citizens of India, and India was to some extent successful in executing its responsibility as a welfare state. It is known as a welfare state. Many social welfare measures, they were introduced, enactments were made, and the policies implemented to achieve the goal of reducing the gap between the rich and the poor. This was the main target at that particular time. The increase in population at that particular time and an economic system that led to greater economic variations. There were a big economic variations among the people, and that led to the slowing down of economic reforms. Okay, they were not happening at that particular time because there was a much gap which was not being able to covered at that particular time, a huge gap. So let's try to understand more of its meaning. What does it say? It says that economic system or an economic order, what is it actually? It is a system of production economy, to raise your economy, to boost your economy, to build your economy. It's a system of production, and for the purpose of production we need to have the resource allocation and the distribution of goods and services within the society or in a given geographical area. This all contributes to a economic system. It includes the combination of various institutions. Naturally, the all various institutions, they have to combine, various agencies have to combine, various entities have to combine. There are so many decision making processes which are going to be involved in this particular situation, and the pattern of consumption, what is the real pattern of consumption of those particular goods which are going to be produced for the utilization, and that comprise the economic structure of a given community. So this all forms the economic structure of a particular community. Now, an economic system is a type of social system, we can say it as, because the mode of production is a related, and the mode of production that is also related to this economic system. So all economic systems, they have the three basic questions to ask, like what to produce, how to produce, in what quantity to be we have to produce the goods, and who receives the output of our production, like whatever are we going to produce in our industry, who are the customers who are going to consume all these products. But for this, we need to understand, first of all, the features of economic system. What are the different features that exist in an economic system? First of all, the ownership of resources. This determines whether the resources are privately owned, publicly owned, or collectively owned by both. And this influences the production method. आपको production के कौन से method जो है वो implement करने हैं, आपके economic incentives कैसे होंगे, this all matters in under this category, ownership of resources. Now the decision making process की अगर हम बात करते हैं, it refers to how decision about the production and distribution, जो आपने production कैसे करनी है और distribution कैसे करनी है, उसके जो decisions आपने लेने हैं, that will be coming under this particular category. This can be through market mechanism, right? Three types we will be discussing over here. One is capitalism, then is socialism, and then is the kind of mixed economies. Under these three headings, we will be trying to understand this process, decision making process. And next we'll be talking about the incentives. Economic systems often include incentives to motivate individuals and business. Of course, we all are working for the profits, so incentives, they motivate the other persons to work more and more. In market economies, profit driven innovations and efficiency, while in planned economies, government goals may guide incentives, right? Now, what is the role of a government? It varies from a minimal involvement, जहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट की जो इन्वॉल्वमेंट है दैट इज ऑन अ वेरी मिनिमम, very lower side in the free markets, to extensive regulation and control in command economies. And it moves from minimal to extensive, जहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट का बहुत ज्यादा रेगुलेशन और कंट्रोल है ऑन द इन द कमांड इकोनॉमीज. नाउ द गवर्नमेंट रोल, जो गवर्नमेंट का रोल है, इट रियली इम्पैक्ट्स द इकोनॉमिक stability, growth and equity of the population, right? मार्केट स्ट्रक्चर्स की अगर हम बात करते हैं, मार्केट स्ट्रक्चर्स हमें किस तरह के मिल जाते हैं? इट इंक्लूड्स द टाइप ऑफ मार्केट्स. कैसी मार्केट मिल जाती है? जहां पे हमें परफेक्ट काइंड ऑफ कंपटीशन, कट थ्रोट कंपटीशन मिलेगा, whether we are going to enjoy the monopolies in the market and oligopolies, etc. And how they affect the pricing and the availability of goods and services. It will definitely affect the pricing part also of a particular product which you are going to produce, and the availability. Goods, कोई भी गुड्स, कोई भी सर्विसेज जो आप प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं अपने कस्टमर्स को, उसकी अवेलेबिलिटी और उसकी प्राइसिंग को ये इफेक्ट करेगा. कैसे? Distribution of wealth, that we will come to know later on. Distribution of wealth refers to how income and resources are shared among individuals and groups. ठीक है, हम रिसोर्सेज को कैसे शेयर करेंगे, और वो जो इनकम वी आर गोइंग टू जनरेट फ्रॉम दैट पर्टिकुलर सेगमेंट, हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू शेयर दैट इनकम एंड रिसोर्सेज एज वेल. दिस कैन बी इन्फ्लुएंस्ड फर्दर. इट इज गोइंग टू बी इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय टैक्सेशन. कितना टैक्स पॉलिसीज क्या हैं गवर्नमेंट की, सोशल वेलफेयर प्रोग्राम्स कितने चल रहे हैं, और इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसीज नो डाउट गवर्नमेंट की क्या है. नाउ let's see economic planning, how it is helping us. Now in some systems, if we are going to say economic planning, that plays a very critical role. How? In setting goals and objectives and determining how to achieve them, especially when we are talking about a socialist or a mixed economies kind of organization की बात करेंगे, तो उसमें हम इकोनॉमिक प्लानिंग जो है दैट प्लेज अ वेरी क्रिटिकल रोल. फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी एंड अडेप्टेबिलिटी, द एबिलिटी ऑफ एन इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम टू अडेप्ट टू द चेंजेस ऑफ कंज्यूमर प्रेफरेंसेस. कंज्यूमर की प्रेफरेंस कैसी है, किस उनका इंटरेस्ट किस तरफ हो रहा है, ठीक है. क्या क्या टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट्स जो हैं वो हो रही हैं रिसेंटली ट्रेंड में, और जो ग्लोबल इकोनॉमिक कंडीशंस हैं वो कैसी हैं, ये सब. Keeping all these things into the mind, the system should be quite flexible and adaptable. Quickly we have to be change according to the changing scenario in the environment. Now if we are going to talk about the efficiency and the equity, it refers to how well an economy utilize its resources to produce गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. ठीक है, अपने रिसोर्सेज को कितना एफिशिएंटली यूज करके कितने गुड्स कितनी सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड कर रही है जल्दी से अपने कस्टमर्स को, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज एन एफिशिएंसी. अब जो एफिशिएंसी है ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर मैन पावर, वो किससे इन्फ्लुएंस हो रही है? दैट विल बी इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय द कि आपको मार्केट में कितना कंपटीशन मिल रहा है, कितनी टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट्स जो हैं दैट आर अवेलेबल इन द मार्केट, एंड द प्रोडक्शन मेथड्स जो हैं वो हमारे कैसे हैं, दैट विल इफेक्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द इफेक्ट द एफिशिएंसी. इक्विटी, if we are going to talk about, it concerns the fairness of economic outcomes जो हमारी आने वाली हैं, जो हमें opportunities मिलने वाली हैं. It is concerned with that only because different systems, those who are working in a particular economy, they have varying different kind of approaches to achieve equity. ठीक है, इसमें progressive taxation और social safety nets की we have talk about. There are 3 types of economic system. Let's try to understand first economic system. First of all, the capitalist economy, then socialist economy, and then mixed economy. If we are going to talk about capitalist economy, capitalist or free market economy is an economic system in which the private players, private individuals, they own all material means of production. Okay? They have their hold on means of production, all means of production, and all economic activities are undertaken for the purpose of the profit only. They are just working for the purpose of profit. The factors of production are privately owned, and production take place at the initiative of private enterprise. सब कुछ उनके अंडर है, ठीक है. They are managing. People have freedom of choice concerning the occupation. They have the choice where what they want to opt, in which occupation they want to go. They or saving or investment, wherever they want to go, they can go in that particular segment. And if I'm going to, these are the examples of the countries like Japan and Canada. They are running the capitalist kind of economy. Let's try to understand what are the different features of capitalist economy. First of all, we are going to talk about price mechanism. What does it say? It says that in absence of external interference, जब कोई भी external interference नहीं है, everything they have to manage on their own. The prices जो हैं capitalist economy में, they are determined in accordance with the movement pattern of demand and supply. कितनी demand है, कितनी supply है, उनकी कितनी movement है, कैसे हो रही है, तो on that basis they will be set the prices of a particular product. The production decision of quality, what quality of products you are going to produce, how much quantity of products you are produced, and what is the place of production, kahan pe production karni hai, that are decided in tune with the प्राइस मैकेनिज्म की प्राइस की को प्रायोरिटी में रखते हुए हम क्वालिटी, क्वांटिटी और प्लेस को डिफाइन करते हैं. Freedom of enterprise. Now the citizens, they are free to choose the occupation or profession based on their capabilities and their likings. Okay, according to their skills, according to their likings, they are free to choose their occupation, their profession, and they can use their means of production. अपने means of production वो खुद they can use as per their choices, their preferences. If I'm going to talk about profit orientation, so all the economic activities are profit driven only in the capitalist economy type. Competition, if I'm going to talk about in this particular segment, it says that key competitors, number of competitors are very high because of the presence of market economy and the price पे खेल रहे हैं, तो naturally the competitors are going to be very high. Individual, they can choose ways of using their means of production and with no restriction on the profit motive. Sovereignty of the consumer. Now here the customer is called as the king. This principle prevails on a priority basis in a capitalist kind of economy. How, since the consumer through his choices, he decides on demand and supply in the market, so his satisfaction is given the utmost care. तो उसकी satisfaction को ध्यान में रखते हुए all products are being manufactured, because here the customer is the priority for a particular in this particular kind of economy. Now labor, we are taking it as a commodity. So labor is also available in the market for a price called wages are given to the people with inadequate means of productions who are unable to utilize their own labor. No government interference is there. Role of government is only to protecting its citizen from कोई foreign invasion ना हो जाए, कोई act of terrorism ना हो हमारी लोगों के ऊपर, and they are to ensure the law and order in the state. It does not interfere in the economic activities में कोई participation नहीं है. They are just on the priority basis. They are just working for the protection of its citizens from foreign invasions, from the act of terrorism, and just to maintain the law and order in the state. That's all. Let's understand what are the merits and demerits of this particular system. First is the incentive part. We are going to talk about incentive. The profit motive induces them to invest money even in those industries which involve great rises, because the profit motive is working over here. That's why they are more into the investing of the money. Efficient utilization of resources, definitely this will be taken into consideration. How? Because there is a high of the competition and minimum the cost becomes essential. So in order to minimize the costs, producers attempt to utilize factors of production in the best possible manner में वो production करने की कोशिश करते हैं. Rapid economic growth. Yes, of course, it is going to be there. The capitalist system helps in rapid economic growth due to incentives and initiatives which are given to them. Rapid economic growth enables people to enjoy high standard of living. Of course, अगर हमारी economic growth high है, तो people will definitely enjoy a high standard of living. जिनके जो living standards हैं, they will get raised because of the rapid economic growth. Capital formation, if I'm going to talk about, people have the incentives to save money. Itni money save karenge and invest karenge in order to earn large incomes in future. तो लोग ज्यादा से ज्यादा पैसा जो है वो अपना सेव करेंगे, उनको इन्वेस्ट करेंगे ड्यू टू प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी एंड इनहेरिटेंस. हाई रेट्स ऑफ पब्लिक सेविंग्स मिलती हैं, इन्वेस्टमेंट. इससे क्या होगी, हमारी जो उनकी कंट्री है, कैपिटलिस्ट काइंड ऑफ कंट्री है, उसमें ज्यादा अमाउंट ऑफ कैपिटल जो है वो फॉर्मेशन, कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन विल गो ऑन और विल बी हेल्ड. फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी एंड अडेप्टेबिलिटी की अगर हम बात करते हैं, as it is a very dynamic system and can be adapted to the changing environment के साथ फटाफट से adapt करके they just try to move on to the top to be the best in the economy. It is of course democratic in nature because people they enjoy full freedom under this competitive market. Entrepreneurs introduce new products with new techniques of production and distribution and other improvements. They go on a very fast pace and still so it is democratic in nature. Next, let's talk about the demerits. Concentration of economic power. Now what happened in this particular case is right to private property and the law of inheritance results in concentration of wealth. अब क्या होगा, इससे जो wealth है that will be concentrated in the few hands only and the subsequent leads to extreme inequalities, क्योंकि because that set of money is going to remain in the few pockets, few healthy pockets only. So what will happen? So there will be extreme inequalities will come to the income of the people. Some will become more and more rich and some will go very less. Economic instability. Capitalism does not provide stability of the price level. Now, free working of the market mechanism result in business cycle wherein business booms are followed by business depression. So sometimes there are extreme of business depression and sometimes the business booms are on a higher side. Social waste. Now, as there is, I have already told you, there is a cutthroat competition among business firms that result in unnecessary expenditure on advertising. They keep on advertising the products and the human resources of the nation. So that will be on a higher side. Monopoly will rise. Yes. How? Big business and giant corporations, they are going to dominate. They will be dominating and they will be, in the run of maintaining their monopoly in the market in the capitalist system. Yes, of course, there will be a high of social discrimination because the capitalism, what it is going to do, it leads to the division of society. So the society hai, that will be divided into two halves. One will be rich and one will be poor because the wealth is going to be a rich pockets. Socialist economy ki, if we are going to talk about, it exists in China and Russia, and the socialism system is a kind of system in which the state owns and controls all mean of production, decision pertaining to production, and even the distributions are made through the central planning system. The state dictates the consumption pattern, everything is in the hand of state. So what will happen in this case, what the features this class is carrying is the social or collective ownership. So all means of production are socially owned and utilized by the government. So everything will be done by the on the government part. No individual ownership in any form is encouraged. So they are not going to encourage such kind of ownership which are on an individual part. However, an individual can hold private property as is necessary for his subsistence only. Now, as it is a central planning authority, so what will happen based on a survey of available resources, whatever resources are available, both on a human and on a physical ground, a central planning authority will be established by the government, and the social work interventions with individual and groups decide on economic issues. They will be taking the decision accordingly. An exhaustive plan will be made in pursuit of predetermined goals. उनके पास पहले से ही है, उसके लिए वो plan out कर लेते हैं, and the planning authority prepare plans for the economy as a whole. They have the extreme powers that they are going to make the plans for the whole economy as a whole with the set determined goals. Government control, of course, it is as it is under the government control. It is present in the all the economic activities mein government ka control hai, and also even the central planning is done from the government part. So plans jo hai central authority ke, they will be carried out only with the approval of government. Whatever they are going to decide, they will be doing on that. सोशल वेलफेयर की अगर हम बात करते हैं, ड्रिवन by the noble pursuits of securing social welfare of all citizens, the government at times carried out such economic activities that may not be profitable, right? So it is done to realize the dream of well-being of one and all. They are working on the, dream of well-being of one and all. They are working for the welfare of everyone, one and all. सोशल जस्टिस की अगर हम मेरिट्स की कैटेगरी के अंडर बात करते हैं, अंडर सोशलिज्म देयर इज जस्ट एन equitable distribution of national income. It will be equally distributed, and that will be leading to the economic stability. How? Because the problems jo overproduction and underproduction, idle capacity, because the business cycles are eliminated, because and the central planning authority takes all the मेजर इकोनॉमिक डिसीजन जो है वो सेंट्रल प्लानिंग सिस्टम के पास चले जाती हैं. तो देयर इज नो क्वेश्चन ऑफ प्रॉब्लम अराइजिंग ऑफ ओवर प्रोडक्शन, अंडर प्रोडक्शन, एवरीथिंग. हाई इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ होगी. हाउ? इकोनॉमिक प्लानिंग फैसिलिटीज ऑप्टिमम यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज, देयर बाय लीडिंग टू रैपिड इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ. क्योंकि हम रिसोर्सेज को बहुत एफिशिएंटली यूटिलाइज करके इकोनॉमिकली वी आर प्लानिंग द थिंग्स दैट विल लीड टू the rapid economic growth of an economy. Absence of struggle class on account of state ownership, as state is owning the everything in their lap of productive resources and the social distribution of income. There is no struggles between the haves and not haves, those who are having more and those who are having not at all. Now let's talk about the demerits of this particular system. Now as the concentration of economic power in the state, both economically and politically, so power is concentrated in the hands only, one hands only, few hands only, lack of incentives and initiatives. Now what is happening in a socialist kind of economy? The people, they do not have incentive for hard work or enterprise or efficiency. They are not having such kind of benefits for them. So loss of occupational freedom, In a socialist kind of economy, if we are going to talk about people, they do not enjoy the full freedom of choosing the what a kind of occupation they just want to get in, and what kind of employment they just want to choose for them. So this type of freedom is not existing in this kind of economy. Now what will happen further? It will lead to inefficiency and low productivity, because bureaucracy in the functioning of state owned enterprises lead to low productivity, of course, and there will be more of corruption. There is great possibility of growth of corruption in a socialist economy, and the corruption will go on a higher end. Now we are going to talk about the mixed economy. What will happen in a mixed economy kind of? Here, both and public and private sectors, they coexist. India is, of course, a good example of mixed economy. Some resources and enterprises are owned and controlled by the state, which state ke paas hai, and the other economic activities are left in the hands of the private initiators. Now, private sector is allowed to work for the profit motive, but under certain regulations decided by the government. ये नहीं है कि वो बिल्कुल free and they are free to work the way they want. They have to have work under certain set rules and regulations which are pre-decided by the government. Now, if we are looking into the features of this particular class, it says that there is a partnership of private and public sectors. How? The public sector strives for the betterment of the interest of the common मैन. पब्लिक सेक्टर उसके लिए काम करते हैं ताकि लोगों के जो कॉमन मैन का इंटरेस्ट है वो बेटर होता रहे, एंड वर्क टुवर्ड्स मोर इक्विटेबल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ इनकम, ताकि जो इनकम है वो भी इक्वली डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होती रहे कॉमन मैन के अंदर, एंड प्रमोट्स इट्स आइडियल्स ऑफ अ वेलफेयर. जो इसकी आइडियोलॉजी है जिसके ऊपर ये काम कर रहे हैं वेलफेयर स्टेट की, तो उसके ऊपर इसको ये प्रमोट कर रही हैं पब्लिक सेक्टर्स के. लेकिन प्राइवेट सेक्टर टू इज गिवन अ स्पेसिफिक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, उनको भी एक स्पेसिफिक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी पे काम करना पड़ता है. नाउ प्लान्ड इकोनॉमी एंड गवर्नमेंट कंट्रोल, व्हाट डज इट से? दैट इफ फोकसिंग ऑन द इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, तो periodical plans for the nation are made by the government to be adhered to by both the sectors. So periodically the plans are being made by the government so that both the sectors, private and public, they should adhere to the policies made by the government from time to time. And to reach the set destination and uphold social welfare, the private sector is regulated and controlled by the government. So government is controlling and regulating the private sector as well. Now, if we are going to talk about the private property and the economic inequality, what will happen? Having permitted right to private property, the government, through a well-planned mix of laws, taxes and welfare programs, ensure fair distribution of income and wealth. So they are working that there should not be, excessive flow of income to one particular sector of society and the other should remain as such. So they are working, they are making the laws, taxes and welfare programs in such a way that so that there should be a equal and fair distribution of income and wealth. Price mechanism and regulated economies. Now, while the prices of some essential commodities such as domestic fuels, railway fares, postal charges are in the hands of public sector, so price mechanism is also existing in this type of mixed economy. Profit motive and social welfare, it is again a combination of objectives of the capitalist and the socialist economies. However, if the government is of the opinion that any private sector industry is hampering the progress of the society, nationalization is resorted to. Merits की बात करते हैं. Individual freedom in mixed economy provide the adequate freedom to all the individuals. They have their own choices, they have their own freedom of choosing their occupation, their choices. They can move into their departments as per their choice. रैपिड इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ की बात करते हैं, सेंट्रल प्लानिंग और मार्केट मैकेनिज्म टुगेदर हेल्प इन द रैशनल एलोकेशन ऑफ द रिसोर्सेज। तो उससे क्या होता है, जो एलोकेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज है दैट इज वेरी वेरी रैशनल एंड विल गो इक्वली इन द हैंड्स ऑफ अदर्स। सोशल वेलफेयर पे भी काम होता है मिक्स काइंड ऑफ इकोनॉमीज में, बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट इज मेकिंग द पॉलिसी एंड द प्रोग्रामर्स फॉर द वेलफेयर ऑफ द पब्लिक को ध्यान में रखते हुए दे आर वर्किंग अंडर दिस सेगमेंट। Now what will happen further, we are going to have some demerits also, like unstable kind of economy will exist in this particular category, and there will be constrained growth. How? If we are looking at the current trends in India, they show a strong shift to capitalist economy. Some decades ago, what will happen, the focus was socialist economy. Based on the strength at a particular given time, one sector dominates the other and thereby tilting towards one economic system. What will happen? This may destabilize the mixed economy in long run when the the move is towards one side dominate, so it will be destabilizing the economy in the long run. Of course, growth, how it is going to be constrained, just as riding on two horses in a mixed economy, neither the private sector is allowed to operate freely, nor does the public sector function to its optimum efficiency. So both are not in a position to work as per their efficiency, as per their moods. So this prevents the desired growth in both the sectors. So both the sectors will not be able to give the optimum growth in their on their paths. Of course, there will be a lack of freedom also in mixed economy. Is a semi-controlled kind of economy produces. So workers and consumers all get freedom of choice, but subject to some constraints उनके पास भी हैं. In lack of that, they will be working. Inefficiency. So when there are too many rules and regulations, there are so many controls, so private sectors cannot function very efficiently. That will hamper their, productivity, their efficiency and everything, and making profits as well. So let's look into the difference between the capitalist, socialist and mixed economy. So economic market, capitalist, socialist and mix. So economic market, individual initiative, and capitalist में freedom to compete, objective is personal profit. Socialist, limited competition with state-owned industries and restriction on wages, so on leaders to limited profit. Mixed, absence of competition and profits are not allowed. Here capital resources, labor and management की बात करते हैं. Capital here is invested by the owners. So reinvestment of capital from profit and depreciation as legal. Workers, they are free to choice employers and occupation independent union, and managers selected on the basis of ability. Managers have freedom to make decisions. Socialist, under the socialist kind, so actually it is obtained from owners and the state issues bonds for state-owned industries. Depreciation is permitted. Workers are allowed to select occupations and the restricted rights to union. Manager in this, the state-owned industries must answer to the state. Here in mixed kind, the state provides all sources to state a business or no depreciation. The state determines one employer and employment, and managers are normally party members and absence of freedom to take decision. Here in capitalist class, the individual have a right to own a business and the laws is owned by the owners itself, and the central problems what they are going to arise is they are decided by the market mechanism. In socialist kind, if you are going to talk, state-owned business industries and other left with private. And people assume rise by wage taxes. And it is decided by the market system and the central planning system, which we have already discussed. And in mixed class, state own all productive capacities जो हैं, it is owned by the state, risk assumed by the state, and it is decided by the centralized planning by the state. Basic features of Indian economy. So India, as it is a developing category of developing country, features a mixed economy in the world. And the major characteristics of developing economy are what? Lower per capita income. It is an overpopulation. There is a problem of overpopulation. Maximum population is below the poverty line. बहुत ज़्यादा है. पुअर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बहुत पुअर है. एग्रो बेस्ड इकोनॉमी है, हम उसमें एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. एंड वेरी लो रेट ऑफ कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन. So, since the independence of the country, India has been developing in many perspectives from the economic point of view. Although the India economy is developing in nature, rising, it's on a rising trend, it tends to move towards a developed country. It is moving ahead into a trend of becoming a developed country. The major reforms in Indian economy were done when it is done in 1991. So features of Indian economy: low per capita income, we have already discussed. It is very less than that of the developed countries. So according to the estimates of, if we are going to CSO, Central Statistical Office, the per capita income, net national income of India at present prices for the year 15-16 was approximately this one, 93,231. अगर एग्रो बेस्ड इकोनॉमी की हम बात करते हैं तो इंडियन इकोनॉमी इज टोटली एग्रो बेस्ड इन इकोनॉमी. Nearly 14.2% of the Indian GDP is contributed by the agriculture and allied sectors, while 53% जो है वो of the total population of the country depends on the agriculture sector. Overpopulation, it is one of the major concern for the Indian economy. The population of India get increased by about 20% in every decade, and only this around 17.5% of the world population is possessed by the India. Disparities in income is lot. Most alarming thing in Indian economy is that the concentration of the wealth, according to the latest report, 1% of the Indian owns 53% of the wealth of the country. Among this, the top 10% owns a share of 76.30%. So the report states that the 90% of the country owns less than a quarter of the country's wealth. Downfall in capital formation. Rate of capital formation is positively correlated with lower level of income. So there is a huge downfall in gross domestic capital compared to the previous years. Poor infrastructural development. How? According to a recent study, around 25% of the Indian families cannot have access to electricity, and 97 million people cannot have access to safe drinking water. Sanitation services cannot be accessed by 840 million people. So this all leads to poor infrastructural development. India requires $100 million to get rid of this infrastructural backwardness which is existing in Indian society. Imperfect markets are there. Indian markets are imperfect because lack of mobility from one place to another, which contracts the optimum utilization. So they cannot optimally utilizing the resources which are available here. As a result, the price fluctuation occurs. The vicious cycle of poverty cannot be broken, I think, and India is a perfect example of the term. A country is poor because it is poor. This vicious cycle of poverty, really it is trapping the countries. Outdated technology, of course. Indian production is labor intensive in nature. So there's a lack of modern machinery. Technologies are not very much into it. So that's why it is using the obsoleting technology, outdated technology, and which is not helpful to, bring out the desired results, advanced products, and it is hampering the further advancement in the country. Backward societies are there. Indian societies are trapped in the course of really still believe in caste system, communalism, male dominated society hai. They believe a lot in superstitions. So these factors all are the major constraints of growth of Indian economy. इसके कारण जो growth है that is hampered. Despite several negative aspects, there are some positive points also in economy. Various schemes of government have boosted up Indian economy in many ways. How? India is leading towards a better economic structure with the help of Make in India, Digital India. They are, putting their efforts at the best level to take out the best from the economy. This class of economy, at whatever level they can do. So, the best way to understand the resilience of India's economy is through its diversity and the potentials at time. So, we know that India is a diverse kind of land and it has a great potential at times. So, when global economic realignments are happening, continuing reforms, strong services sector, and pressing issues regarding socio-economic disparities define its trajectory. In particular, some of these features in India condition appropriate site while appreciating its resultant impact on the world at the large, thereby being judged to inject the economic vibrancy. So this was all for today. We'll be meeting next time. Thank you so much.